Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. We are back for more League 2 Thursday night action as we have the Yorkshire Derby as Harrogate come face to face with Doncaster at the Exercise Stadium. Harrogate have started the season poorly with just one win from their opening five in the league and have not scored in their last three games in all competitions. Harrogate do have the longest serving manager though in the EFL, as Simon Weaver has been in charge for over 15 years, maybe due to the fact that his father is the chairman. For Doncaster, they have continued their fine form from last season into this new campaign as they currently sit top of League 2 with 4 wins from their opening 5, with just one defeat, and that came away from home against Newport. For the Rovers, it has been a 100% record at home, but on their travels, it's a win at Port Vale and a defeat to Newport back in mid-August. This derby's history is very recent though. This is just the fifth meeting between the two, and Doncaster are yet to win. It's 3 wins for Harrogate, winning both last season, home and away. So, on this Thursday night, as we are well into the second month of the footballing season, will it be more Derby Day delights for Harrogate, or can Doncaster continue to fly at the top of the division and finally get a win over their Yorkshire rivals? Like I say, bit of a derby, newer derby in terms of how often they've played each other. It's only very recently they've come face to face due to the fact that Harrogate have been a non-league side for a lot of their time as a football club. They were promoted into the Football League back in 2020. They went up via the playoffs during the COVID season. And now they are into their 5th successive season in League 2. So it was a real success story for Harrogate with Simon Weaver in charge, who has been a part of the club as a manager since 2009. And as mentioned before as well, the chairman, Irving Weaver, is his dad. So it's probably why he's kept his job. But I'm only joking. You know, the fact that Simon Weaver took over the club when they were in the 6th tier of English football, and he's got them all the way up into the 4th tier as an EFL club and has sustained them as well in this division has been great work from Simon Weaver. And they were just having an interview before when the manager, Simon Weaver, was with his dad, Irving Weaver, the chairman. And, you know, they were very open and honest about how the club functions. You know, his dad gives him a budget and he works with that. He can do whatever he wants with that budget, but that's what he's got to work with and that's what he gets. And, you know, I'm sure there's maybe certain points of time when they're on bad runs where it might be a little bit awkward, you know, having conversations. But overall, their father-son dynamic has seemed to have obviously worked really well with Harrogate getting themselves into League 2 and sustaining themselves in League 2. They had a decent season last campaign, finishing 13th in the league on 63 points. They actually only finished 8 points below Doncaster, who were 5th, and they got themselves in the playoff after an almighty run at the back end of last season. For Doncaster, it was absolutely unbelievable, the run they went on with 10 wins in a row from the start of March towards the back end of April. But Harrogate have started slow. They've got 4 points from their opening 5 games, just the one win, unfortunately, and that was away at Colchester, which is not an easy place to go to. So that was an impressive win, but at home they've played 2 so far and they have lost both against Bromley on the first game of the season 2-0, and they've also been beaten 1-0 as well. So it's not a great start for Harrogate, but they don't usually start very quickly. I mean, for Doncaster last season, they were bottom at this point of last season, but 12 months on, they are now top of the league with 12 points from a possible 15, which is, you know, it's title-winning form. I'm sure that's what Harrogate, that's what Doncaster will be aiming for. You know, unfortunately losing the playoffs last season in the semi-final stage, it was a rather strange defeat for Doncaster because they were on such a good run of form. You know, going from 19th at the start of March to then into the playoffs in 5th place by the end of the season. But they won the first leg away at Crewe 2-0. And then Crewe got themselves back in it in the second leg with 2 early goals, and it ended 2-2, and then they lost on penalties. It just seemed I don't know, maybe the pressure and the expectation and the reality of possibly getting promotion got to them a little bit, but Crewe got themselves back in that game, got themselves a win on penalties. Unfortunately, they didn't go up, Crawley did instead, but it seemed like a bit of a wasted opportunity for Doncaster, who could have got promoted literally out of nowhere. If you are new, please make sure you like and subscribe. Kickoff is just around 5 minutes away. We'll go through both starting 11s in a little bit more detail in a moment. But we have had a little break from the commentaries due to the international break, and there was games on Saturday that I could have commentated on, but I was busy, unfortunately, so I couldn't. But we're back for this Thursday night game, for this Yorkshire derby. Harrogate are based in the north of Yorkshire, and Doncaster are in the south of Yorkshire. Like I say, it's just the fifth time these two are meeting since Harrogate's promotion to this division. And last season, Harrogate won the first meeting away at Doncaster, 1-0. Back at the start of August, it was a Muldoon penalty, which won it for Harrogate. He starts tonight for the town. And then they also beat them here, 3-1. And that was at the start of the new year. Harrogate going 1-0 up, and then Doncaster equalising a couple of minutes later. And then later on in the second half, Harrogate were able to score 2 goals, which got them a 3-1 win. And then the season before that, when Harrogate and Doncaster met due to Doncaster's relegation from League One, Harrogate beat them away again, 2-0. 2 late goals for Harrogate that day, and then they drew here as well on the second game. That was in mid-April, back in 2023. That ended 2-2. Doncaster were 2-0 up in that game, but Harrogate at home were able to turn it back around. So in terms of a head-to-head, it's definitely Harrogate who are clearly the better side when it comes to these two teams meeting. But based off form, Doncaster currently on a nice run of victories and have just started the season pretty well altogether. They played 8 games already, winning 6 and losing 2. One of the 2 losses was against Everton in the League Cup second round. They were beaten 3-0 at Goodison Park. And their only league loss so far for Doncaster was a 3-1 defeat in Wales as they travelled to Newport about a month ago. And it was their first away game of the season. And they fell to a defeat. But it's not like they haven't won away already. They have played 2 away games. Obviously, got beat to Newport, but they did beat Port Vale 3-2 at the end of August. Port Vale coming down from League One as well. They're a difficult side to face and beat them. So I definitely think Doncaster will fancy their chances of finally getting a win over Harrogate. They couldn't be in better form, really, and Harrogate couldn't be in much worse form. Struggling to score. They haven't scored in their last 3 games in all competitions, Harrogate, which is slightly concerning, losing their last 3 games in all competitions, and they're yet to score a goal at home. They've played twice here against Bromley, where they failed to pick up a victory, and then they also were beaten 1-0 by Barrow at home and failed to score, and then they also failed to score in their League Cup second round defeat against Preston, where they were battered 5-0. So they've actually not scored here at home, Harrogate, which needs to change if they want to try and get 3 points from the game tonight. I'm sure their strikers will be looking to get some goals on the score sheet. As we'll go through both starting 11s now, and we'll start with Harrogate, who make just 2 changes from their weekend defeat away at Cheltenham, where they were defeated in the 92nd minute. And it is captain James Belshaw in goal, who's got over 200 Harrogate appearances. This is his 3rd spell at the club. It's going to be a back 4 of Toby Sims. At left back, it will be the number 30 of Liam Gibson, and 2 centre-halves of Jasper Moon and Anthony O'Connor, who's making his 75th Harrogate appearance. 2 holding midfielders of Dean Cornelius, who was brought in 2 seasons ago now from Motherwell, and to partner alongside him in the midfield will be Stephen Dooley, the Northern Irish central midfielder. With 3 behind the striker on the right-hand side, it will be Josh March. On the left-hand side, it will be new free signing from Sunderland, and that's Ellis Taylor. And in behind the striker will be the number 11, James Daly. And then leading the line through the middle, scored in this fixture last season away at Doncaster from the penalty spot. And that is James Muldoon, who's now at the age of 35. Coming up towards 300 appearances for Harrogate. This is appearance number 292. And in the previous 291, Jack Muldoon has got 76 goals. And for Doncaster, just the 1 change from their weekend win at home to Gillingham, just the 1 goal needed in that one from Billy Sharp on the half-hour mark, gave them the 3 points, and it is Teddy Sharman Lowe to remain in goal, a loanee goalkeeper signing from Chelsea. A back four of Jamie Sterry. At left back will be Brandon Fleming, and the two centre-halves will be Tom Anderson and Jay McGrath, with two older midfielders of Owen Bailey, and the one change comes in that central midfield spot where Zane Westbrook comes out for Ben Close. And three behind the striker on the right will be Luke Molyneux, who's got 4 goals already so far this season in League 2, scoring 2 braces on the opening day against Accrington and in their 4th game against Port Vale. On the left will be Jordan Gibson, who they've brought in on a free from Carlisle. He's got the 1 goal so far, and that came in that opening day win at home to Accrington Stanley. And then playing in that number 10 position, the number 15 is Harry Clifton, who they brought in from Grimsby on a free in the summer. He's also got 1 goal, and that came in their 1-0 home win against Morecambe in game week 3. And leading the line, the main man, the 38-year-old Billy Sharp, who they brought in on a free from Hull. He returns to Doncaster for his 3rd spell. He had 2 loans in his career here in the 09-10 season, and he was also here from January to May in 2014. He's here for another spell at the club, and if he scores tonight, it will be goal number 50 for him in a Doncaster shirt. Can Billy Sharp make that happen? It's his first time ever facing Harrogate in his career, and he'll be looking to try and get himself on the score sheet, because Billy Sharp has started very sharp this season. 3 goals in the league coming against Accrington Stanley, Port Vale and Gillingham. So we're about to get underway here at the Exercise Stadium, formerly called the Wetherby Road, but due to, sponsoring and all of that stuff, a lot of traditional stadium names aren't a thing anymore, so this is called the Exercise Stadium now. So we're about to get underway here. At the Exercise Stadium. As I would like to apologise that it's actually Billy Sharp's 4th spell at the club. Not 3rd, 4th spell. He also had a spell after his loan and left in 2012. So it's Billy Sharp's 4th spell, and he's looking for his 50th goal in what would be his 110th Doncaster appearance. So it's almost a goal every 2 games for Billy Sharp, almost, which is a frightening record. And still at the age of 38, he's still putting the hard yards in League 2. As tonight's referee is Thomas Kirk, Yorkshire-born referee, interestingly enough, as this is the Yorkshire Derby. It will be Harrogate to kick us off here, kicking right to left. It'll be Doncaster left to right. Harrogate in their home kit of yellow top with black and shorts and socks, and then Doncaster have gone with the all white with the red numbers and names and sponsor as well. As we're about to get underway here, bit of a false start there from the number 24 for Harrogate of Josh March, who they'll aim for from the kickoff, as it's gone over everyone's head and out for a throw-in for Doncaster at right back with Jamie Sterry, the 28-year-old who they brought in last season from Hartlepool. Started 7 times now against Harrogate in his career, got over 100 League 2 appearances. The right back, as Harrogate have won it back from the throw-in, he went towards the halfway line. They've got a throw-in of their own on this near side. It will be taken by the number 30 at the left back, Liam Gibson, right in front of the 2 technical areas, as Simon Weaver, the Harrogate manager, watches on. Joined as a player manager in 2009 and then became just the manager in 2011. They spend a couple of months on loan as a player here. Simon Weaver, as Gibson tries to switch out towards the right-hand side. It's gone behind the number 14 of Toby Sims. He will get there ahead of Gibson, clears it down the line, and Harrogate still have it, and it's cleared forward by the right back there of Sims. As Harrogate play it up towards their striker there, Cornelius with the ball towards March, and it deflects towards Muldoon, header away by Sims, and a volley in the end there by the Doncaster captain of Owen Bailey. It's now Doncaster with the ball just inside their own half here to try and get the ball forward, but it's Given away there by their number 15 of Harry Clifton, but then he wins it back. Good work rate from the new Doncaster number 15, who they brought in from Grimsby. Watched him a couple of times, actually, Harry Clifton, whilst he was at Grimsby. Caused my team, Stockport County, quite a few issues when we came up against Grimsby, and especially Harry Clifton, as Molyneux, nice little flick there into their number 17 of Owen Bailey, who's then pulled back in the end, and it'll be a free kick just inside the Harrogate half for Doncaster. It'll be taken by Ben Close, who comes into the midfield tonight for the missing Zane Westbrook, as Ben Close started at his hometown club of Portsmouth. That's where he joined from in 2021. This is his 85th appearance for Doncaster for Ben Close, as they've got it within their back line here. Doncaster midway side their own half of their right centre-back here of Tom Anderson, whose contract does expire at the end of this season, as he has missed the last 3 games against Harrogate. Tom Anderson, as Doncaster work it out to the left-hand side here. Chance for Gibson, onto his right foot in the box. His shot deflects off Toby Sims, and that will be a Doncaster corner on the far side. It's not been the worst of starts by the Rovers, who are looking to win their first ever fixture against Harrogate since their promotion to League 2. Just dropped to him on the edge of the box, and he entered the box there. Jordan Gibson, and tried to shoot, but it was well blocked there by Sims. So 3 minutes in, it'll be Doncaster to take it short. Work it to the edge of the box here to Gibson, who won the corner, and he'll put a ball in towards the far post, where it's been overhit, and it will go out for a Harrogate goal kick. Just overcooked that, Jordan Gibson, who they brought in on a free in the summer from Carlisle. Scored 7 goals last season in League One, Jordan Gibson, but couldn't stop Carlisle from being relegated in the end. As the referee, Thomas Kirk's having a word with the Harrogate goalkeeper and captain of James Belshaw, who spent 4 years of his career in the USA, played in the likes of Durham and Chicago as well. Now at the age of 33, as we've got some technical issues here, unfortunately. Some of the officials, I think, struggling maybe with their power packs, with their microphones, I'm not too sure. Referee just talking to the Doncaster captain of Owen Bailey, who's now been at the club since the start of last season, brought in from Gateshead on a free transfer, signed a new 3-year deal in the July of this year. He's got over 50 League 2 appearances. Owen Bailey, now at the age of 25, as just over 4 minutes in. It's been a pretty even start. Doncaster with the first look at goal. As I've just had some technical issues with the officials, but it looks like we're going to get ourselves back underway here, as it is James Belshaw with this goal kick. He's got 2 centre-halves as shorter options. It does look like he's going to send this one long. And he pumps it forward beyond the halfway line, down in the central area, bounces all the way through, where it's headed away by Anderson for Doncaster, headed back forward for Harrogate, and it's dropped in the midfield where there's a foul there on the Doncaster centre-half of Jay McGrath. Yeah, just the number 24 there, Josh March, just shoving him in the back, and Jay McGrath fell to the ground. The Irish international, as it's played to the halfway line, Sharp can't quite flick it through for the run there of Ben Close, but not a bad idea. Does win a throw-in on halfway for his side. If Doncaster want to take it quickly, they throw it down the line where Toby Sims can control it right back for Harrogate. He clears it back where it came from. It's controlled there in the end at the back by McGrath, beating March to the ball. And Doncaster go forward out to the right wing to Bailey, who's brought to the ground by Gibson, but not seen as a foul by the referee. And Harrogate break down the left-hand side. Here is Daly. Back into the path of their number 22 of Dooley as a sliding challenge goes in. And it's well timed. And there'll be a corner kick for Harrogate. Just getting back doing his defensive work there. Harry Clifton for Doncaster sliding in. Thought he may have missed time that, but just about got in there and took the ball off Stephen Dooley. Not scored a goal in League 2 yet, Stephen Dooley. The central midfielder, 73rd appearance in the division. Just over 6 minutes in here at the Exercise Stadium. Harrogate 0, Doncaster 0. Harrogate with the first corner, and it goes into the box. Second corner of the game. First for Harrogate, into the box and a header away. Now in a left-back position for Doncaster, where Molyneux tries to clear it, but slices it out of play. And that'll be a Harrogate throw-in on the far side. In the Rovers' half, he has been the shining spark in this Doncaster side to start the season, Luke Molyneux, with his 5 goals altogether in all competitions, including one he scored in the League Cup against Salford, then 2 braces in the league already. As the throw-in goes back here to McGrath, now into the 18-yard box, the goalkeeper of Sharman Lowe, who has played just once for the England under-20s, and he was off the bench against Iraq in the under-20s World Cup in 2023. So he has flirted around the England youth system. As Doncaster have got it in the centre circle here with McGrath. The centre-half will bring it forward. Muldoon trying to get close to him, goes into midfield to Close, he returns it to McGrath, looking out to the Doncaster left and finding the left full-back of Fleming, back inside to Close, surrounded by yellow and black shirts, and he's been dispossessed illegally according to the referee there. Got away with that, Ben Close. Just brought to the ground, and the referee's come to his aid to give the decision his way. Just a little bit too heavy of a challenge there by Josh March of Harrogate Town, who's making his 49th appearance for Harrogate. Brought in at the start of last season from Stevenage, also had a loan here back in 2021. As McGrath breaks the lines, and it's a brilliant ball, and Doncaster attacking down their left-hand side. It's Gibson, the left winger, into the box onto his right foot again. Will he let fly? He will, but he slightly loses balance and kicks it a little bit timidly, and it was always going wide of the post and wide of that near post, and it's a goal kick for Harrogate. Well worked though by Doncaster, just got through the Harrogate defence and midfield line a bit too easily, and then Gibson again looking rather dangerous, cutting in from that left hand side onto his right foot, but that time again couldn't quite conjure a shot which tests the goalkeeper of Belshaw, who sends this long from the goal kick again beyond the halfway line, looking for March, who wins the first header for Harrogate and then headed back towards March, who will take it under control and lift it in behind for Muldoon on the left wing. In the final third, playing it back here to Dooley. Run being made by Daly. Goes back to Muldoon instead. Now Dooley tries to get away from the right back of Doncaster, and that is Jamie Sterry, but he can't quite get around him, and the touch goes out of play for a goal kick for Doncaster this time. Had to be strong there, Jamie Sterry, the Newcastle-born full-back. Played 8 times for Newcastle, was at his boyhood club for 15 years. His last appearance for them came in January 2019. Now plies his trade in the lower divisions of the English Pyramid. I say the lower leagues of the English Pyramid. The English Pyramid's absolutely massive. He's probably about midway in the pyramid in League 2. It's Doncaster built from the back with Sterry at right full-back down the line and gets the return ball from Bailey, but his touch is heavy and he slides in and keeps it for Doncaster. It's a fair one, say, according to the referee. Almost let himself down there as Doncaster get it forward. It's Clifton. He's got a Molyneux to his right, and he finds him on the right wing. Molyneux wants to cut in, goes on the outside instead towards the byline. He crosses him with that right foot. It's a good ball in. Header away for Harrogate, and a clearance out to the right side by Muldoon. No one in a Harrogate shirt there, and it just rolls out of play for Doncaster throwing on that far side. Teasing ball that from Luke Molyneux, who's played over 100 times now for Doncaster. He's only scored 19 times. 11 of those came last season. As Harrogate win it back in the midfield from Doncaster, it's Muldoon on halfway. Trying to get onto his right foot, he's been tackled, but it does drop back for Harrogate with Sims, their right back. It's now with the left centre-half here of Jasper Moon, who they've brought in on loan from Burton Albion, who play their football in League 1. That's a brilliant turn there from Gibson to keep the ball away from Molyneux. It's now with Dooley for Harrogate, facing his own goal and going to his goalkeeper here of Belshaw, who belts it away beyond the halfway line, taking no risks. Header away by McGrath for Doncaster. Headed up in the air for Doncaster again, then a header away for Harrogate, volleyed forward by March, given chase to by Muldoon. Poor clearance from McGrath, but thankfully for him it falls straight to his midfielder of Ben Close. Harrogate have to do some defending now through the legs of Cornelius. And now Doncaster try and go down their left-hand side here with their number 27, and that's their full-back of Fleming, who is dispossessed there by Harrogate's defender of O'Connor. It's now with Cornelius, plays it inside, and Harrogate look to try and get away now As there's a run being made inside by Daly, but it's dropped off onto the halfway line for Dooley instead. He looks out to the Harrogate left, lays it off here for Gibson, the left back. Now into their own half with the left centre half of Jasper Moon, who started off at Leicester City. Spent the first 9 years of his career there. This is his first ever taste, though, of League Two football. Never played in this division, as a long diagonal ball into the box comes off the top of the head of March, and then can't be kept alive by Daly, but he wins it back off Sterry and works across, and that's a brilliant ball in. It's just overhit over the head of Muldoon, and it will roll out for a Doncaster throw-in in their left-back position. But it's really good tracking there from Daly, who missed the ball the first time, just bounced over his head, but then won it back off Sterry and put a really delicious ball in there, just slightly overhit there for Jack Muldoon, who couldn't quite get his head on that cross. It's now back with Harrogate as they won the ball there from the throw-in, and they've got a throw-in of their own in the right wing position in the final third on that far side. It's not quite keeping the ball well enough there, Doncaster, from the original throw-in, and it looks like it's going to be taken here by the right back of Toby Sims, born in Nottingham, the right back in Worksop to be exact, who also spent a bit of his early career in the United States of America back in 2017. As his job here is to put this throw into the box. It's a long throw to the near post, flicked on, the finish is blocked there. Nearly got through from Josh March, but the counter's now on for Doncaster. It's Billy Sharp in the right wing position. He's got Molyneux sprinting down the middle. He's going to look to try and play him through, and he can't quite get there ahead of Moon, and he's actually tripped the Harrogate centre half, and it'll be a free kick for the Town. Almost there for Doncaster as Billy Sharp almost got the weight of pass perfect there for Luke Molyneux, who was bursting down the centre of the field. And Moon just got in front of Molyneux and was brought to the ground. But then Doncaster have now won it back in the Harrogate half with Close going to the halfway line to the right side here. Ball into the middle. It's a great ball by Anderson. Gibson back to Bailey. He's now to the left back of Fleming. Bailey again goes to the halfway line to keep the possession with Jay McGrath. 21 years of age, the Irishman. Brought in January of this year from St. Pat's on a free. Fleming playing it across to the right centre half here of Tom Anderson. Came through at Burnley's academy for 18 years. He tries to play a ball through to Gibson. Almost went through to him on the edge of the box, but a vital header backwards there by Moon gets it into the gloves of James Belshaw. Harrogate trying to go forward, deflects away for a throw-in off Clifton. Just less than 15 minutes here at the Exercise Stadium, and it's Harrogate 0, Doncaster 0 in this Yorkshire derby, one that Doncaster have never won. 3 Harrogate wins and a draw. That draw was here back in mid-April in 2023. Molyneux scored that day for Doncaster, one of their main danger players at the start of this season. It's now Doncaster with a throw-in of their own on the halfway line on this near side with Jamie Sterry, who interestingly enough has an Italian grandfather, which I thought was rather interesting, as he throws it long down the line, headed away by Gibson for Harrogate. It's now Muldoon, the striker, can't clear it, and it will drop instead to Clifton, who plays it to his left. Now, Gibson on the edge of the area, right-footed shot, once again blocked, but headed forward by Sterry. And Molyneux's touch is a bit loose, but he can play it back here to Bailey. Touch away from Muldoon, and then plays it to his left here to a more central area for Close. 25 yards out, goes out to the left back Fleming. Forward for Gibson in the final third. Back to Fleming. Gives it to Gibson, who runs around him on the outside. Now onto his right foot again, playing it across to Bailey. Now on this near side, edge of the area, Sterry the right back. Twisting and turning, going back into Bailey. Doncaster piling on the pressure at the moment on the home side. Molyneux on the right wing, onto his left foot, delivering a ball in, header away by Moon for Harrogate. And as far as Close for Doncaster, who completes a lovely 1-2 there with Bailey. Close has it. Back to Bailey, who's just on the edge of the centre circle in the Harrogate half. Goes forward to Clifton, then back into Close, moving it nicely here. Doncaster Rovers. It's on the far side with Fleming. Finds Gibson, and then back it goes. Then he gets the return here, Gibson. Looking for a switch. He's going to play a ball into the box. It's a wicked one in there, and Molyneux's shot towards goal is tipped behind for a corner. It's a really intelligent ball, that, from Jordan Gibson, catching out the Harrogate back line. But Molyneux knew he could have that ball, and he's ran off the back of Gibson and just about worked a shot of his right foot, opening his body up, just guiding it towards that bottom right corner. It's quite a smart finish from Molyneux, and it had to be dealt with there by the goalkeeper, Belshot, just getting his left hand to the ball and parrying it behind for a corner kick. It's definitely Doncaster who have started the better in this Yorkshire derby. They are the team who lead the pack at the moment. They're top of the division, 12 points from their first 15. As they put a ball into the near post, it's flicked away off two Harrogate heads, and it's out to Sterry. Loads of space on the left wing here for Gibson. Touch with the left, cross with the right. Again, it's just hit too deep, and he'll bounce out for a goal kick for Harrogate. Just twice there where Jordan Gibson's overhit the cross. Not the one in between, the one just before for the Molyneux shot was good, but again, just needs a little less weight on it. Grant McCann not best pleased with that cross, the Doncaster manager. Taking charge of his 127th game at the club. Was here before and almost got them promoted into the Championship, but lost in the playoffs semi-final against Charlton back in 2019. Let's have a throw in their left-back position. It'll be taken by their number 30 of Liam Gibson, who started himself at Newcastle, leaving in 2020, and was only able to get on the bench twice in the Premier League in February 2016 and then also in January 2020. Moved on, has played for the likes of Morecambe and left Morecambe to join Harrogate at the start of last season as Muldoon lifts a ball into the box there, looking for the late run of Ellis Taylor. But it's into the gloves of Sharman Lowe instead, who was quickly off his line to collect the ball, and he rolls it to his right to Anderson, who's still in the Doncaster 18-yard box, lifts it towards the halfway line, flick on from Sharp. Clifton can't get the second ball, header away by Cornelius, all as far as Sharp, who heads it down the line, put in the air by Molyneux, header backwards by Dooley, and Bailey will header it forward twice himself, and he stays on his feet. No, he can't, falls to the ground, and that'll be a free kick for Doncaster. Midway side the Harrogate half, good run in there from their captain, Owen Bailey. He was a rather versatile captain. His main position is in the midfield, but can also play centre-half as well. I think it's important to note as well that Harrogate usually play a 3 at the back, but in the last 2 games, including today, they've gone for a 4. And in the last game, it worked until the 92nd minute when they were 0-0 with Cheltenham and then conceded in the 92nd minute of the game. As in the final third, Molyneux tried to take on Gibson onto his left foot. Can't get away from Gibson. It's a good tackle from the left back. He needs to find the pass. He goes inside to Dooley. Charges beyond 2 Doncaster players and into the Doncaster half now. Cornelius looking to go down the line there to Daly. Doesn't take any deflection. And it's a Doncaster throwing in their own half. Dean Cornelius, the Scotsman, is certain that took a nick off a Doncaster player. But the referee says no. And just less than 20 minutes in, it's Harrogate 0, Doncaster 0. As Doncaster have a throw in with Sterry. Throws it forward. Sharp battling and getting the touch off Moon. And it'll be another throw in towards the halfway line now for the Rovers, who've scored 14 goals so far this season in their opening 8 in all competitions, but have conceded 10. So they are vulnerable to conceding, Doncaster, but they're just seeming to score more than their opponent at the minute, which is exactly what you need to be doing to win football matches. As Sharp goes to the halfway line to Close, who moves it out to the left here to Fleming. Quickly forward to the left winger of Gibson. Clifton's made a run down the line himself, and he'll be found in the final third, shielding the ball and playing it back into Gibson onto that right foot. There's an option to the right-hand side here, and he'll play it to the right full-back of Sterry. About 30 yards from goal on this right-hand side, nutmegging a Harrogate player and getting around him. It's a brilliant run. Sterry with the low ball in, cleared by Moon. Headed back in there by Bailey. Cleared for Harrogate as far as Fleming. Now on the left-hand side with Clifton. 1-on-1 with Cornelius. Playing it back here into Fleming. Run being made by Gibson, but Fleming goes to Clifton, who goes to the edge of the area here. Poor touch from Bailey, but he can keep it away from Cornelius in the Harrogate midfield, and it's still the Rovers with the ball. On the far side here with Gibson. Cornelius not getting too close. Goes back to the halfway line, though, to keep the possession with McGrath. To his centre-half partner of Anderson. It's on the halfway line to Close, who's taken up a right-back position. Goes forward to Molyneux. Can't flick it round the corner for Sterry. Picked up here by Daly for Harrogate. Takes on 2 Doncaster players, but the third's too much. But he deflects it out wide left to Muldoon, who returns it to Daly. On the byline, low ball into the box, and it's cleared away by Fleming. It needed to be dealt with. It was a wicked low ball in. And when Harrogate start their attacks, they look difficult to stop. Thought that Daly had overran it, and he did. But as Anderson tried to clear it, he cannoned it back off Daly. And as it came off Daly, it fell to Muldoon on the left wing, who played it back down the line for the run of Daly, and he put it along the ground, and he had to be cleared there for Doncaster. As Harrogate have it on halfway, Moon lifting it up towards the edge of the area, headed away by Sterry for Doncaster. Volley by Clifton, held up on halfway by Sharp, who tries to turn away from Moon. Can't quite do so successfully. And it'll be Harrogate to start again from the back. Sharp wanted a free kick as he felt he was being held as he held the ball up. But the referee said no, and Harrogate, plenty of room on that far side here. Ball goes in, and the shot towards goal, just got underneath it there. Josh March, not a bad ball there by Toby Sims, the right back, who had loads of room on that far side, and he ran into it. Went for an early-ish cross, and it found its way there to Josh March, who just got under it and sent it flying over the crossbar. Bit of a looper there by Josh March, who's yet to score this season. This is his first start of the season in the league. There's Doncaster clear it along up towards halfway, over the head of Sharp, and straight to the centre-half here of Anthony O'Connor, the Irishman, for Harrogate. This is his 10th ever time facing Doncaster. He's never scored against them previously. It's Gibson on halfway. Curls it into the channel, down the left channel, where Harrogate try and hold it up and play it inside there towards Daly. Muldoon did just that, but couldn't find the pass to Daly. And Doncaster go long again. Sharp with the touch. It drops to Gibson, who's got Sharp to his left free, but the pass is intercepted by Moon. And Dooley has 2 bites of the cherry and eventually clears it up, but can't quite be held up in the end there by Josh March. And it's now back with Doncaster in the Harrogate half. It's Close. Just lifting it to the left wing. Brought down by Billy Sharp. Goes back here and then forward it goes. It's Gibson. Plenty of Harrogate bodies back. Fleming. Back into Gibson. Midway side of the Harrogate half on that far side. Finds Close. Then down the line here for Fleming. Out-muscled by Toby Sims. Last touch off the Doncaster fullback. And Harrogate have the throw-in. Well dealt with there by Toby Sims. The 25-year-old who was assisted once this season from fullback. We saw him almost assist there just before for that Josh March shot on goal. But he assisted in the Harrogate 3-3 draw away against Accrington. As Doncaster pick up a loose ball and Sharp tries to go in behind for Molyneux, who's overhit it. And it's Harrogate to have it with their goalkeeper in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Plays it to the edge of the area here to Moon. Back to Belshaw, the goalkeeper, being closed down by Clifton. Clears it down the Harrogate right. And it goes towards Muldoon, who takes a touch around McGrath. But then the slide tackle in from Fleming's perfectly wrong, according to the referee. And he gives the free kick, and he gives Fleming a yellow card as well. Well won free kick there by Jack Muldoon, who took a nice chested touch into space, got away from McGrath, and then Fleming tried to help out his centre-back by sliding in. And he's not got the ball in fairness, and he's took out the man. Right decision there by the referee, Thomas Kirk. And it's the first yellow card of the game. Brandon Fleming with the caution. 2 more corner kicks. I'm going to guess there will be in this game. It's Harrogate have a chance to deliver this in the box. It'll be from the left boot of Ellis Taylor, their new signing from Sunderland, who's playing just his 10th ever game in League 2. Experienced this division on loan with Hartlepool a couple of seasons ago. He puts a left-footed ball and it's a deep one behind the goal. Out for a goal kick. He was aiming for Jasper Moon, who'd made the run at the far post, the centre-half on loan from Burton, but Ellis Taylor has overhit it. And Doncaster have a goal kick just over 25 minutes in here at the Exercise Stadium. It's Harrogate 0, Doncaster Rovers 0. As the goal kick's taken to the right centre-back of Anderson. Again, lifts it long up to the halfway line for Sharp. Header won there by O'Connor this time. Played into the box by Daly, controlled by March, who's asking for a handball off Anderson. The referee says no. Doncaster can clear it. Sharp will chase it, but Moon will head it to his goalkeeper of Belshaw, and Harrogate can start again just outside their 18-yard box. They're asking the question there. Harrogate of the handball. As they go out to the left, cut out by Sterry. Forward to Molyneux, plays it inside to Bailey. That's a heavy challenge, but the referee plays advantage as space is opened up for Doncaster on the left-hand side, but it's needed to be moved on quicker there by Gibson, who's been taken on by Harrogate's marauding midfielder going forward of Dooley. It's now to the left to Daly. One-on-one with Sterry in the final third. Crossing left-footed to the near post, and it's glanced on, and Ennis Taylor gets Harrogate in front. It's a brilliant counter-attacking move. And Ellis Taylor gets his second of the season. It's his first here at home. And it's Harrogate's first home goal of the season in all competitions. And it's come against their Yorkshire rivals. And what a time to get it. Just took Harrogate a bit of time to grow into the game. Doncaster certainly started the brighter of the two. But mentioned it before, every time Harrogate were going forward, they did seem a threat. And they worked it into a central area to Dooley. They went out wide left in the end to number 11 of James Daly, who was one-on-one with Sterry. Allowed him to get the cross in far too easy. And he's crossed it to the near post. And it's an old-school glancing header to that far post. A diving header as well. Got there ahead of Anderson. It's a brilliant goal. Not a goal you see too often these days, the diving header. There was questions of a foul just before Harrogate won the ball. Grant McCann was absolutely furious. There was a late challenge there on Luke Molyneux. Referee's not giving it. We certainly do not have VAR in League 2. And just after ticking over the 28th minute right now, it is Harrogate 1, Doncaster 0. What a goal that is from Ellis Taylor. Harrogate finally have a goal at home after going well over 3 games without one to start the new campaign. And Doncaster have got to come back here from behind as their goalkeeper Sharman Lowe goes long out to the right side over Molyneux. Sharp will chase it. Poor clearance, but it's done with by Dooley, and he gets the return now from Daly. Dooley in the centre circle. Pressure here from Bailey in a Doncaster shirt, but Dooley keeps it away from the captain. And Harrogate have it, lifting it out to the right back here of Sims, who touches it forward and gets beyond the halfway line. Space is opening up again for Harrogate. Sims on the edge of the area, cuts it back. Muldoon will shoot towards the bottom right corner, parried away by the goalkeeper. Still alive for Harrogate, but it's won back there by Fleming, who is on a yellow card. Now with Gibson in a more central area. Goes back to the right back of Sterry, then curling it around the corner here for Molyneux. Gibson trying to get a foot in, but Molyneux keeps it away from the number 30. He's now back in the right back position for Doncaster. Now with the goalkeeper on the edge of the area, Sharman Lowe, who's kept 2 clean sheets so far this season in the league, both at home in their wins against Morecambe and Gillingham, both ending 1-0. It's currently Harrogate who lead at 1-0. As it is Jay McGrath for Doncaster on the ball on the left centre-back position. Forward to Ben Close. Plenty of room for him in the centre circle. Breaking the lines well, Doncaster, but not quite challenging the goalkeeper as of yet, of James Belshaw. It's Close. Out to this near side now to Sterry. Thought about the early cross. Opts against it. Plays it inside. And it's now with Owen Bailey, 25 yards out. He's going to curl it towards the top right corner. That's not far away from the Doncaster captain. Over the bar it goes. Scored once already this season, and it was in their away defeat to Newport. In that 3-1 defeat back in Wales. But let's have a look. Is that a foul? Molyneux was on the ball. He's released it and then just caught by James Daly. Owen Bailey had it, and the referee played advantage. So I'm not quite sure what more the referee can do. He saw it as a foul, but just didn't give it because Doncaster continued with possession. There's Harrogate trying to score again here. Cross cleared on the edge of the area, played back forward by O'Connor, up towards Muldoon, who controls it on the left flank here. He has got support with him. And here is Daly, playing it back here to Dooley, on the edge of the area, on the left-hand side. Down the line it goes. Cross goes in, it deflects into the goalkeeper's arms there. They're asking for handball. Referee says no. Not the best of balls, though, in the end, though, really, by Liam Gibson. As the ball is thrown down the right-hand side, it comes off the top of the head of Gibson, thrown on the halfway line for Doncaster. Taken quickly by Molyneux. Gets the return from Bailey, just inside the Harrogate half. 1-2 with Clifton. Molyneux overruns it, but it deflects off him into Close. Then forward to Sharp, holding the ball up and playing it back to Close. Now to the left to Fleming, the left back. Forward for Gibson, midway inside the Harrogate half. He's got a man forcing him backwards, and that's where he puts it. Goes to the centre half here of McGrath. 21-year-old centre half who did win the Irish Cup in 2023. Did play in the build-up to the final, but didn't actually get on the pitch in the final. There's a ball around the corner there from Molyneux. Will look for Clifton. Can't quite get there ahead of Moon, who slides in and kicks out a play. Thrown in the final third on this near side for Doncaster, who will definitely want to try and respond before the break. There's right where they're attacking in that corner of the ground is where the Doncaster supporters are all together. Sterry throws it to Clifton, returns it to Sterry. Into the corner of the box now, being held up and played back out wide here to Molyneux. Left-footed, low ball in. Comes off Dooley, and then a volley from Gibson at left-back. Only as far as Close. Controls it well, forcing himself out to this right-hand side. Keeps it in, plays it inside, but can't find a Doncaster shirt. And now Dooley can bring it away. Beyond the halfway line. Plays out to the left now. It's March. One-on-one with Anderson. Into the box. Goes on the outside. He pulls it across, and it deflects into the side netting. And it will be a corner for Harrogate. Good run in there by Josh March. Met by a round of applause by the home supporters behind that goal where they've gone 1-0 up. Where can I watch? Not too sure. I'm watching this on Sky Sports in the UK. Corner. Taken by the goal scorer Taylor. It's an outswinger header won there for Doncaster. Still in the box though. They win the second header through Gibson, and Molyneux will want to break. Molyneux down the left-hand side, but he's been caught up brilliantly by Harrogate's number 14 there of Toby Sims. That is brilliant. Cleared by Belshaw, only as far as the halfway line where it's headed forward for Doncaster. Sharp runs into traffic, but the ball deflects to Clifton, who lifts it to the left-hand side here. It's now Gibson. He's got Fleming overlapping from fullback. He finds him in the final third. Fleming crosses. It comes off Sims. Throwing in the final third for Doncaster. Just more than 10 minutes left of this first half to play. Harrogate lead 1-0. Ellis Taylor with the goal. Scoring just his second professional goal of his career. Doncaster still have a throw-in to take here on that far side. Thrown backwards. Anderson, switch out to the left-hand side into the box, headed away by Sims. Drops here to Taylor, who volleys forward. And it's cleared up into the sky by Anderson on halfway. He'll battle with Daly with it, but he'll lose out the Harrogate man. And Close finds Clifton into the space. On the left-hand side, it goes across from Gibson, and it's well cut out there at the near post for Harrogate. And it'll be a corner for Doncaster. Really well dealt with there by Anthony O'Connor, the Cork-born centre-half. Had loads of space in time to put that cross in the box there. Jordan Gibson. Birmingham born forward. They've got a corner as a result here. Doncaster. Looks like it's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from Ben Close. They'd missed the first 4 games of the season. Ben Close in the league, as he puts an in-swinging ball in. Harrogate win the first header. Still alive in the box here, where it's volleyed towards goal. It's saved by the goalkeeper. Molyneux on the edge will have a bite of it himself, and it's blocked and cleared by Gibson. Falls to Sterry, still alive for Doncaster. It's Molyneux on the right wing, on his left foot, crossing into the area. Volley away for Harrogate. Again, Doncaster will come again in the centre circle, heading it out wide left by Fleming. And the ball is played out there, unfortunately, by Ben Close, and it's the Harrogate throwing. Just a little bit more frustration here for Doncaster, as that original corner went in. Header up into the sky by James Daly. And then it was a volley forward, I think by Gibson in the end. It would a save that was needed by Belshaw, who's made 2 good saves already today, stopping Gibson and previously stopping Molyneux as well. Harrogate throw it forward, bit of battling on the Harrogate right-hand side, and they come out with the ball. Taylor trying to go onto his left foot, in the box, trying to get beyond multiple Doncaster shirts. He's brought to the ground in the area. Referee says no. And Doncaster play out from the back. Did look dangerous though there, Taylor, running at the Doncaster defences. Clifton in a left-back position is bundled to the ground there by Cornelius. And in the left-back position, it will be a Doncaster free kick. Funnily enough, when Doncaster lost their only other league game this season at Newport, they actually were 1-0 up at half-time, but then conceded straight after the break, and then also conceded 2 in 3 minutes in the 66th minute and then the 69th to lose. And that was Doncaster's first League Two loss outside of the playoffs since the start of March when they were beaten away at Warsaw. So it just shows how good they have been since, pretty much March. That's when the good run started. Harrogate have it again in the left-back position now. Edge of the area. Poor clearance there by Moon. Straight out of play. Doncaster throw. Midway inside the Harrogate half on this near side. 37.5 minutes played. It's still Harrogate 1. Doncaster Rovers 0. Grant McCann, the Doncaster boss, not looking very pleased here. His only ever win against Harrogate was in the EFL Trophy back in November 2020 when he was in charge at Hull, a team where he won the League One title with back in the 2020-2021 season. Doncaster have it on the far side with their left back Brandon Fleming, who joined Hull. Age 9, the club he is on loan from at the moment. Caught there by a sliding challenge from Ellis Taylor. But Doncaster still have the ball, so again, the referee will let the play continue. As it's on this near side, halfway line, Sterry. Forward to Molyneux. Has to go back to Sterry. Then back once more into O'Connor. Into Anderson, who will then switch it out towards the Doncaster left. Header won by Sims into a central area, not very far. Header won there by Bailey for Doncaster, and it's a chance here for the Rovers. Out to the far side to Fleming, the Hull loanee. 24 years of age now. Played against Doncaster for Hull in the League Cup at the start of last season. So they are aware of Fleming. There's a run here from the centre half. McGrath will shoot towards goal, and it's not the worst of attempts from the youngster. Bit of frustration maybe, just thought I'll do it on my own, and he was able to work himself into the box with his run, getting away from Cornelius. But as he entered the box, he probably should have thought about a cross possibly. But on the angle, he went for a shot, and he's blazed it over the bar. Just over 5 minutes of the first half left to play, and it's Harrogate 1, Doncaster 0. Difficult set of fixtures coming up as well for Harrogate. They've got Crewe away coming up next week, and then they've got, in the league then they've got Bradford at home, MK Dons at home, Swindon away. It's not the nicest of fixtures for Harrogate, but this league is very daunting. It's a very challenging league. Not many easy games as the goal kicks long, headed forward up towards March, who wins the header here. Muldoon battling with McGrath, and he gets it out to the left here, and March goes over the challenge of Sterry, and right next to the corner flag, it'll be a free kick for Harrogate. Just getting a shove in the back there by Jamie Sterry. And Josh March will certainly take that free kick. Well won by Josh March. Scored just the 1 goal last season in League Two, and that was against Bradford back in March of this year. Be looking to score more goals this season, hopefully, for Harrogate Town. So it's almost pretty much like a corner, and it'll be taken by the left foot of Ellis Taylor, who scored with his head tonight. It's a whip ball in. It's a header one for Doncaster. Out of the air it goes. And Cornelius goes back for Harrogate into his own half here, all the way to the goalkeeper, Bellishaw, who goes forward long into the box. It goes. It bounces in the area. Nearly drops for March. But Fleming will deal with it, being tripped. Free kick in a left-back position for Doncaster. Almost breaking there for Josh March. But a bit of movement for both sides. Not much, though, for Harrogate. Just the 4 new signings. But again, they are working on a limited budget. For Doncaster, they brought in 9 new faces. And 5 of them, start tonight. As Harrogate attack down the right, they've won it back again. Taylor playing a ball into space here for Sims, who crosses far post. And he's overhit it over the bar. Goal kick for Doncaster. Apologises there, Toby Sims. Needed just a better ball than that. Missed a lot of last season, Toby Sims, from October to April. He had 1 appearance in the January, but then that was it. Didn't play for a long, long time. How is the match going? It's pretty back and forth. I think both teams are having spells in this game when they're having a bit of the possession. I think Harrogate are deserved of their lead. Every time they go forward, they look like scoring. From the throw-in, Sharp helps it on again. Referee plays advantage. Done that a lot for Doncaster tonight. As the ball played through by Anderson's overhit. Won't quite reach the Doncaster captain of Owen Bailey. Billy Sharp's furious. Didn't get that free kick, but if Billy Sharp moved it on and he played advantage, I think Billy Sharp might be asking for a yellow card, I think. More than the foul, because, you know, Doncaster had an opening there, just weren't quite able to make the most of it. As Molyneux and Moon collide, and the last touch comes off Moon. And that'll be a throw in here. For Doncaster, a little bit of afters here between Molyneux and Moon, as Molyneux wanted to take the throw in quickly. Moon wasn't allowing him to, so Molyneux shoved him to the ground, and then the referee just had to pause play. You can definitely tell that Doncaster are frustrated, as the referee will want a word with both Molyneux and Moon here with 90 seconds left of the first half. It's Harrogate 1, Doncaster 0. How many corners have happened overall? Because people have got some bets going on, haven't they, for these corners? Says here we've had 5 corners altogether. 2 for Harrogate and 3 for Doncaster. What was the other comment as well? Do you expect more action second half? I hope so. I think so. I think if it stays 1-0, which is looking likely, I think Doncaster will come out second half with an instant reaction, or will want an instant reaction. So I definitely think there'll be plenty more action in the second half. As we've just dealt with the afters there of that throw-in, and it does look like he's actually booked O'Connor there, the referee, who was the one who fouled Billy Sharp just a moment ago. Don't think he booked Molyneux or Moon, but he did book O'Connor there. And we're back underway. Doncaster throwing in the Harrogate half on the near side. Thrown down the line by Sterry. Controlled there by Molyneux. Works himself into the box, but then it's kicked away by Moon. It'll be another Doncaster throwing in the final third here, as they do try and get one back before half-time. Jamie Sterry with the throw-in. Gets the return. Then finds Bailey. Edge of the area, left-footed. He's going to go for the shot, which deflects away from goal. Headed forward by Muldoon. Controlled, though, by Close. Then out to the left to Fleming. We're at the 45th minute here. Fleming forward to Clifton. Holding the ball up. Playing it back out wide here to Gibson. Onto that right foot. Can he work a bit of space? Sims is getting close to him, but he can work it with Clifton, who then goes to the edge of the centre circle in the Harrogate half here to Anderson. 3 minutes added on at the end of this first half. Now on this near side to Sterry. Finds Molyneux on that left foot. Early ball goes in. Volley away by Moon. Cleared again once more for Harrogate, but only as far as McGrath. It looks like the ball might come right back at him here. McGrath in the centre circle, going forward. Clifton brought down, and the deflection plays it through here for March, who needs to get the touch in front of him. He does just that. March is through on goal, and he bundles it beyond the goalkeeper. And Harrogate have a second before the break. And on the break again is how they've scored. The Doncaster frustrations will continue to grow. But Harrogate have finally got themselves going at home this season. They hadn't scored at home before tonight in the new campaign. They've now got 2 in the first half. And it's such a sloppy goal for Doncaster to concede. McGrath tried to go forward. And as the Harrogate defender got to the ball first, not purposefully, but it just absolutely cannoned off his left boot, right in behind the Doncaster defence, which played it perfectly on a plate for Josh March, who got the touch in front of him. He was being chased down by both centre-backs, who he was sandwiched in between. And as the goalkeeper half-heartedly came, he just about got enough contact on the ball to work it beyond the goalkeeper. It's not the prettiest of goals. Josh March will not care. In his first league start of the season, he gets his first goal of the season. And it's Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. And Doncaster will be furious with themselves. They will be scratching their heads, wondering how they are trailing this by 2-0. 3 minutes were added on, so we've still got another 45 seconds left. Doncaster have it forward here. Owen Bailey not caught with the slide challenge as he poked it forward. And it's into the gloves of the goalkeeper of James Belshaw, who is a 2-time promotion winner here with Harrogate when they came up from the National League North and the National League to get themselves into League 2. And with 20 seconds to go, the goalkeeper will take his time with this. It's Harrogate lead 2-0. Goals from Ellis Taylor and Josh March. Belshaw right up high into the sky in the Doncaster half in the central area. Clifton wants it. He'll head it backwards, but then cleared forward there for Doncaster. Headed away by Sims at right back. Headed won again by Clifton, but straight out of play. They'll be throwing on the halfway line for Harrogate. We've played the 3 minutes here. Just waiting for the referee's whistle now of Thomas Kirk. Taken here by Toby Sims. As you can just tell, it's starting to get a bit colder now in England. As Sims throws it long, headed away by Fleming. And that's where we'll get the half-time whistle here at the Exercise Stadium. And Harrogate again are having the success in this Yorkshire derby. It's definitely Doncaster who started the better and statistically have looked the better side. But it was mentioned during the first half there, Harrogate looked dangerous every time they went forward, and they've scored twice from 2 counter-attacking moves. The first one was a brilliant glancing header at the near post by Ellis Taylor to get his second goal of the season, his first here at Harrogate's home stadium of the Exercise Stadium. And the second came in the first minute of added on time. A ball forward for Doncaster was cleared away by Harrogate in their own half, and it looped right over the top there of the Doncaster defence. And in behind for Josh March, who got the touch in front of him. He was being sandwiched by the 2 centre-backs who were chasing him down, and he also had the goalkeeper to beat in front of him, but he was just able to work the ball into the back of the net, sliding it home. And at half-time here, it is Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. Frustrating for the Rovers, because, you know, like I say, statistically, Harrogate have had 5 shots, Doncaster have had 9, but with Harrogate's 5, they've had 3 on target. With Doncaster's 9, they've only been able to get 2 on target, which I think tells you everything. You know, Doncaster have had around 70% of the ball, compared to Harrogate's 30, so 30% for Harrogate, 70% for Doncaster, and I you know, even though the stats will show it's in Doncaster's favour, I do think Harrogate have had better chances, better quality chances. We have had a couple of half-decent saves from Harrogate's goalkeeper of James Belshaw. The Doncaster goalkeeper of Teddy Sharman Low looks a little bit frightened in goal. You know, 21 years of age now. He's played over 30 professional games now in club football. In Easter, start maybe getting a bit stronger. He just seemed a little bit panicky when Josh March was running through on goal for the second. Could have maybe come out quicker and closed down the angle. But for me, I think Harrogate are, well, deserving of their 2-goal lead. Doncaster, I think, just looked too frustrated. They were letting their emotions get the better of them a little bit too much. And Harrogate are just playing their football, just playing how they like. And they've got a 2-goal lead. Interestingly enough, Simon Weaver, the Harrogate manager, he was actually born in Doncaster. Interestingly enough. Another weekend of football, another Yorkshire derby. Not a bad one, though. I was surprised when I saw this game chosen as the one to be played on the Thursday night. I was a little bit confused until I found out it was a Yorkshire derby, which I wasn't aware of. I'm usually quite good at knowing where places are just due to football, but I did not know Harrogate and Doncaster were both Yorkshire. I knew Doncaster was, I just didn't know about Harrogate. One thing certain in life, death tax on the Yorkshire derby somewhat every weekend between July and May. There's plenty of Yorkshire derbies going around. This one, like I say, hasn't had much history. This is only the 5th time they're facing each other. Their last 4 meetings have come in the last 2 seasons. And like I say, Harrogate have won 3 and drawn the other. Doncaster have not beaten Harrogate. So it's, of course, it might just be a bit of a bogey team for Doncaster, which is never good when you bogey teams against a rival. But again, they're struggling. You know, all season they've played pretty well so far, Doncaster, of course, slipping up against Newport. And it does seem like at the moment it's away from home where they might struggle. Doncaster, they've played twice already this season away from home, beating Port Vale 3-2, and then being beaten by Newport 3-1. And, you know, at home it might be the place they can play. But away, they're struggling a little bit at the moment, it must be said. So a bit of commentary with this, mate. Cheers, thank you very much. Research and stats on point, do appreciate that. Like I say, I enjoy doing these types of games because you just find out things you don't know about clubs, and you just learn about loads of new players that I wasn't too aware of. You know, my team, who I go and see every other week when they're at home, Stockport County, we were in League Two for the last couple of seasons. So I recognise a couple of the players like Harrogate. We drew 1-1 with them last season at home. They defended really well against us. In Doncaster, we actually had a little bit of success against at their ground. We beat them before they went on that crazy run. Stockport County beat them 5-1, I think in the January, at their ground. But, you know, Doncaster's run at the back end of last season was absolutely crazy. I mean, like, you know, we mentioned it before. They went on a run of 12 unbeaten before their playoff semi-final second leg defeat. They won 10 games in a row. 10 in a row in League Two for any team at any point is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that is so impressive. And it got them from 19th in the division at the start of March, and they ended up finishing in 5th place with 71 points, winning 21 of their 46. I mean, that is absolutely incredible from Doncaster. And of course, they fell short in terms of the playoffs, beaten on penalties by Crewe. And they're just showing the first goal here where Molyneux was fouled, but the referee played advantage, and Harrogate got the ball back probably about 10 seconds after the foul. So it's not like they won it back immediately and the ref should have pulled it back. You know, Harrogate, you know, had to win the ball back and had to chase it down. And then they went up the other end and scored. I don't think the referee's done anything wrong there. He acknowledged it was a foul on Molyneux. He was just caught by James Daly. But played advantage because there was a clear opportunity for Doncaster to continue to go forward. They lost it. Doncaster then had to try and defend. Harrogate came forward rather quickly. Got it out to the left wing to Daly, who again, just poor defending from Sterry at right back, allowing Daly to cross it into the near post, just slightly lifted up, where it was a Ellis Taylor diving header in the end to guide it to the far post and give Harrogate the lead. Just poor from Doncaster to lose it so easily and then not be able to get back and defend it. And then the same for the second goal. Who do you think will go up this season from League Two? I don't know, because there is so much change. Just showing here, sorry, I will answer that question. But Grant McCann at the end of the first half, just having a discussion with the referee, Thomas Kirk, who didn't really want to hear from him. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been a quite physical game from Harrogate, but I feel like the referee's called everything pretty okay. I mean, every foul that has gone against Doncaster, he's either given it or played advantage. And then for the second goal, it's just really poor. McGrath plays it forward. He was looking for Clifton, and it's just cannoned off the boot. I think of Moon. Didn't know too much about it. Just absolutely flew off his boot in behind for March, who was sliding towards goal. McGrath got a touch to it and kicked it onto March, who was sliding towards goal, and it just got beyond the goalkeeper. It's not the prettiest of finishes, but Josh March will take it. First goal of the season for him. He only scored once last season for Harrogate, and that was against Bradford back in March. But yeah, if we look at League 2, I mean, there's always constant changes in this division in terms of players. I definitely think Doncaster will be up there again. I know they're struggling tonight at the moment, but when you've got Billy Sharp up front and then the players supplying him from behind, I think Doncaster will be absolutely fine. Notts County for sure are definitely a team they've got to be watched carefully. Notts County currently unbeaten actually, 3 wins, 2 draws in their first 5 games. We commentated on one of their wins when they beat Grimsby 4-1. I believe Bradford, I like the look of. I like the look of Bradford's team. I mainly say that because they've took a few Stockport County players who, of course, won the league with us last season. They brought in the likes of Sarcevic and Neil Byrne from Stockport County, both of them part of the team that won promotion. I think they've built a really good League 2 side with Andy Cook still up front as well, with Halliday at right wing back, who's just so good going forward and defending for Bradford. Bradley Halliday, or Brad Halliday, should it be said, go short through his name. So definitely think we'll see the likes of Doncaster up there, Notts County, Bradford, Chesterfield have started quite well in League 2 as well, straight back up from the National League after spending a few too many seasons in there, probably for their liking. But I think it'll definitely be an interesting League 2 title promotion race, for sure, who will go up into the third tier of English football. As the second half, we'll be getting underway in literally a minute or two time. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around, as we will be looking for a Doncaster response. They will need 2, at least for the draw. And I know what Grant McCann's like. He'll definitely be wanting a win. So that'll be 3 goals they'll need in the second half without response. See if any changes will be made as well for Doncaster. They have got the likes of Joe Ironside on the bench, who scored 20 goals last season in the league. 6 in the last 5 before the playoffs. They have got him as an option. They've also got the loan signing from Bristol City, and that is Ephraim Yeboah. Just 18 years old, but he's got bags of potential. Played 10 times last season in the Championship for Bristol. They've also got the left wing option of Kyle Hurst as well, who can play both wings. Just 22 years of age as well. So, can Harrogate hold on to this 2-goal lead? Like I say, they hadn't scored at home all season until tonight. Do you know the attendance? Well, this ground holds 5,000, 2,000 of those seated, and it does look rather... Whatever Doncaster were given as an away allocation, they've sold out 100%. And I can't say the home ends are exactly full to the brim, especially on the far side. It's definitely packed out behind the goal. But the ground can hold 5,000. That's for sure. I know that because I've got it written down. And like I say, 2,000 of it is seated. So I'm assuming it'll be around the 3,000 mark, 4,000 mark, I think. Something like that. as this would move. Of course, this is the first game of the weekend. Of course, it's not the weekend, but the weekend's fixtures. So this win would put Harrogate up towards the top half of the table. But of course, everyone else has still got to play, so they might not be in the top half by the end of the week. But it'd be nice for them to just move themselves away from towards the relegation zone for a little bit of time. They're currently just they were before today 2 points off relegation. They're now, of course, 5 points off it with these 3 points they've currently got at the moment. Their only win of the season in the league was away at Colchester, which I think a lot of teams will struggle against with the Cowley brothers in charge. That's a rather impressive away win for Harrogate under Simon Weaver. Longest serving EFL manager, Simon Weaver, the Harrogate man. 15 years in charge. To be exact, 15 years and 109 days. It's absolutely unbelievable. And the second longest EFL serving manager. Can we have a guess? Anyone want to guess in the chat? So we've got Simon Weaver, who's currently the longest serving manager. Took charge in 2009. Who's the second longest serving manager? Do we have any guesses of who that could be? Because the second longest serving manager is 8 years and 68 days. So I'll let you put some guesses in the chat if you'd like. The question is, who is the second longest serving manager in the Football League? So that's Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. Who's got the longest serving management record? Because Weaver's got top stat with 15 years, and the second longest is 8 years. That is ridiculous. 7 years difference, almost double the time that Simon Weaver's been in charge. It is quite something. It's quite an achievement. Like I say, it does help when your dad is the chairman of the club, but there's a reason Simon Weaver is still there, because he's took them from the 6th tier to the 4th tier. He's got them as an EFL club, and he's got them sustained in this league. It's now their 5th successive season in this division, which is absolutely incredible from Simon Weaver. He's also won them an FA Trophy when they were in the non-league part of the pyramid back in 2020. So, like I say, it's very easy to say he's in charge because his dad's the chairman, but certainly not the case at all. And it doesn't look like we're getting any guesses. Doesn't look like anyone wants to get involved. So I'll just tell you the answer. The second longest serving manager after Simon Weaver is Pep Guardiola. He is the second longest serving manager in the English top 4 leagues. He's been in charge at Manchester City for 8 years and 68 days. So just shows there's not many managers sticking around, because not many managers get given the right amount of time. As it looks like Doncaster have made a change into this second half, which we're about to get back underway. It'll be Doncaster kicking right to left. Harrogate left to right. It'll be Doncaster to kick us off for this second 45 minutes. Not quite sure who Ironside has replaced. That is the man on for Doncaster. We were talking about him before, Joe Ironside, as Doncaster try and burst forward from kick-off with Molyneux. Brought to the ground, free kick given. About 30 yards out, central area. Molyneux just deciding to go alone there from kick-off. The quick start we expected from Doncaster Rovers. Still don't know who Ironside has come on for. Let you know as soon as we see who's the man who's been brought off. So it's a 4-man wall over the free kick. We've got Close and Molyneux. So the right-footed option is Close. And then we've got Molyneux with the left foot. Both of them have called upon Owen Bailey just to give the captain some instructions of what they're going to do with this free kick. So early defending for Harrogate in this second half. In a quite central area here, about 30 yards from goal. It's the left foot of Molyneux to bend it towards the top left corner. Didn't get enough bend, got too much height. And that will be a goal kick for Harrogate. He certainly struck better than that. Luke Molyneux spent 5 years of his career from 2014 to 2019 at Sunderland, playing for them 6 times, not scoring. And he has scored against Harrogate twice, and they've both come away from home as well. Still trying to find out who this substitute was for Doncaster. I think it might have been Gibson, the number 11. Jordan Gibson's come off for Joe Ironside, and we can't start the timer because the timer's not on the screen for me. Sky Sports have messed up their timer here, so we can't actually see the score line or the timer at the moment. So I'll get that started as soon as we see, as soon as the scoreboard comes back on screen for myself. As it's Harrogate on the halfway, Cornelius lifting it down the left-hand side, headed on there by Daly. And it'll be a throw-in for Doncaster. March tried to see it out for a throw-in for his own team, but the referee's given it the other way. In Sterry for Doncaster, throws it long down the line. Flicked on for Molyneux, who tries to get it into play with Ironside. And he was brought down, but the referee doesn't see it as a foul. But they've won it back. Strong header there by McGrath. But then Cornelius in the midfield almost wins it back. And it's now a free kick for Harrogate. Pull of the shirt there by Ben Close on Dean Cornelius. And that'll be a Harrogate ball. Try and get this timer going. Hold on a second. So in the centre circle, it's a Harrogate free kick here with O'Connor. Plays it through to the edge of the box. It's an easy pass. And it's almost worked there. Muldoon trying to spin and shoot, but it cannons off McGrath. And into the gloves of the goalkeeper, who throws it out to the left back of Fleming. It's now Clifton on halfway. Into a more central area for Sharp. Loses out to Dooley. Sharp tries to win it back, but Dooley skips beyond him. And plays it to the left, still in the Harrogate half. 3.5 minutes in. Still 2-0 as Harrogate have a free kick. Too aggressive of a challenge there by Jamie Sterry, the right back. Slowly getting back to his feet there, James Daly, who scored last season in this fixture when Harrogate won here 3-1, and he scored here again. There's Cornelius, touches it forward. It's a loop ball, header away by Close into the Harrogate half. Headed backwards by Sharp. Forward now by McGrath. Ironside to the left towards Clifton. Cleared by Sims over the top where it'll be March to give chase on the Harrogate left wing. Sterry will get there first. March will close him down, but he can play it inside to Close, who then goes back here to Anderson. And Doncaster Rovers can start from the back here, with the left back Fleming driving into a more central area and going across to his right here to Close. Still in the Doncaster half, ball forward, finds Bailey, touches it to the right to Sterry, and he kicks it off Bailey, and that'll be a throw-in for Doncaster on the halfway line on that far side. Thrown into a central area, flicked on by the head of Clifton. Cleared away though by O'Connor. Just confirms that substitute as well. Jordan Gibson, the one brought off for Doncaster, and Joe Ironside has come on. There's Doncaster trying to build on their left-hand side, halfway line. Clifton going to the right centre half here of Tom Anderson. 224 appearances now for Doncaster for him. He came to the club from Burnley in 2018. Started as a loan spell, then became permanent. Clifton to the edge of the box towards Sharp, cut out by O'Connor. As far as Anderson, he works to the right to Sterry. The Doncaster fullback, crossing it into the area. Can it drop for Ironside? He works it towards goal. But it's a good 5 yards wide there by Doncaster's number 20. And that'll be a goal kick. Doncaster have started with the more of the possession, but again, just not really testing Belshaw enough as consistently as they need to. Belshaw clears it long beyond the halfway line. Header won though there by McGrath, all as far as Cornelius. Looking for Daly. And he's offside actually. Josh March there. Won a flick on header there towards Daly. And Doncaster build out from the back. It's with Tom Anderson. Sterry down the line, bit of space here for Close. And he plays it into a central area for Molineux, edge of the area, 22 yards out, goes out to the left himself here to Fleming in the area, pulls it into the box for Clifton, wanting a bit of space for a shot, which he'll get off, but it's well blocked there. And it's a Doncaster throw-in, looking for another goal this season. Harry Clifton, he's already got one. Grimsby born, came through Grimsby's academy ranks before leaving in the summer on a free for Doncaster. As Molineux crosses far post, it's beyond everyone, and it'll go out for a throw-in the left-back position there for Harrogate. Yeah, for Harry Clifton, like I say, born in Grimsby, joined the club in 2007 and then has left in 2024, played 272 times for Grimsby. He's got 200 appearances in this division. Has scored against Harrogate away from home 2 seasons ago whilst he was at Grimsby. But throw-in will be taken by Gibson for Harrogate. Headed into the air here by Bailey. And out of play it goes, another Harrogate throw-in for Liam Gibson to take. To the halfway line. Header won again there by Bailey. That'll be another throw-in here for Harrogate. And of course, it'll be Gibson, the left-back, again to take. And he's misthrown that. It's slipped out of his hands. And it's not worked for him because Sterry clears it for Doncaster, but straight back at him through Gibson. Cleared again for Doncaster. Sharp can't keep it in. That'll be a throw-in again for Gibson. He's going to make sure his hands and the ball are dry, so it doesn't slip out of his hands again. Simon Weaver watches on. The Harrogate manager, 190th game in charge of a League Two match. Averages 1.21 points per match, which has been enough to see Harrogate stay in this division for the last 4 seasons. Now going into their 5th, as they've worked it to the right side in the final third here. It's Ellis Taylor. Goes on the outside of Fleming, right next to the corner flag here. He's run out of room, but he kicks it off Fleming for a corner. That's brilliant work by Ellis Taylor. Looked like he had run out of space there, but was able just to kick it off Fleming to get himself a rather cheap corner in the end, but Harrogate will take it. We're just about to hit the 54th minute here in the second half. It's Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. And if a third is scored for Harrogate, you feel like that might be the nail in the coffin. In-swinger, near post. It's headed away to the edge of the area to Dooley. Returns it here to Taylor. Touch out of his feet. Now he's going to run at Clifton. He crosses early. It's a decent ball in. Another header away. Drops here for Clifton, who heads it forward for Billy Sharp, who runs into traffic there of Cornelius. And the ball drops for Harrogate here with Dooley. Turning away from Molineux, going back into his own half to Cornelius. And Harrogate have the ball back once again. Doncaster playing better. Can they score goals? They can score goals, but they need 3 for a win. They definitely look like they can score. You know, they've got the quality to do so. We're 10 minutes into the second half. Still Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. Won 9 games last season at home. Harrogate, 9 of their 17 altogether, coming here at the Exercise Stadium. Only won 1, though, of their final 5, and that was a home win against Grimsby. Their worst run of the season was their best run of the season, was 1 loss in 11 from November to February, which kind of got them towards the playoffs, but just didn't quite have enough to get really push for those playoff positions, so ended up just finishing mid-table last season, Harrogate Town. Doncaster's games don't get much easier. They've got to travel to MK Dons next week before playing Manchester United under the 21s in the EFL Trophy, then returning to the league again. As it is in the final third, Clifton, right-footed, first cross blocked, but it falls back to him, and he goes back here to McGrath, the number 25, bringing it forward again. Edge of the area, left-footed, he sees an opening, it deflects, and it's saved. Drops in the area here, needs to be dealt with by Daly, who tries to run around Sterry, can't do so. Sterry goes back here to Bailey, inside to Close, edge of the area, lifts it into the box, header towards goal by Sharp, and it's just wide of the far post. It's a brilliant save again by Belshaw. He's been equal to everything thrown at him so far. And it's not the first time he's done that, Jay McGrath, from centre-back, just bringing it forward and having a shot that time, and it was deflected off O'Connor. And it almost went beyond Belshaw, who dived to his left, but was able just to get his right leg up to stop the ball hitting the back of the net, and it remains Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. 56.5 minutes played as Harrogate go long. Header won by McGrath. Last touch off the centre-back, and that'll be Harrogate throwing just in front of the halfway line on this near side to be taken by Toby Sims. Started all 8 games so far this season in all competitions for Harrogate. Sims, he throws it down the line. Header won by Fleming. All as far as Ellis Taylor, driving in from the right side onto his left foot. Hitting a shot, bouncing right into the gloves there of Sharman Lowe. And that'll be Doncaster to build from the back. Going to their left back of Fleming. Can't find the ball inside, deflects away from him. But he can get there ahead of Taylor. And he goes across to the right centre half here of Tom Anderson. Turned 31 at the start of this month. Sterry, a high ball down the Doncaster right. Ironside gives chase. Gibson gets there first, plays it to Dooley, who gets it away from Ironside. In the left back position, Dooley has it. Finds Gibson. Then played forward by Moon to Dooley. Good football this from Harrogate. Brilliant football from Harrogate. Muldoon tackle to the ground. It's a flying challenge in. And it's a yellow card for Jay McGrath, nothing more. It was brilliantly worked down that Harrogate left. Got it to Muldoon, who just took a heavy touch down the left-hand side. And before he could even think about chasing the ball down, he was brought to the ground by a sliding McGrath. Probably a yellow card. Needs to be careful. That was borderline, looking like a red. Just made sure he kept himself on the ground. If he went flying off the ground, that's a guaranteed red. As it's going to be a Doncaster throw-in. Just won it there. Kicking the ball last off Muldoon. But that does mean that McGrath and Fleming are on yellow cards for Doncaster, the left side of their back four. As they've got it to the left side here, Fleming on halfway, bringing it beyond the halfway line, but playing it back there into McGrath, into the midfield for Close, touches it away from Dooley. Now Clifton. Fleming drives inside, deflects back to him there, off Sims. So now Molyneux's took over. Lays it off to Close. Back to Molyneux. Takes on one Harrogate player. Can't get away from the second. Deflects forward now for Harrogate. Muldoon finds Dooley in the centre circle. Not much around him. Goes back though to Gibson, who will bring it forward. Chance here for Harrogate. Gibson going for the switch out to the right hand side. It can't quite reach March. Well headed away there by Clifton. And in the final third for Harrogate with half an hour to play, they've got themselves a throw-in. Doncaster really need to start going up the gears a couple more if they want anything from this game. Harrogate looks so settled now with this 2-goal lead. The gap to second for Doncaster is just 1 point and will remain that way. So Notts County do have a chance to go top of the league if they win their game at the weekend. Long throw-in into the box for Harrogate, right towards the penalty spot, headed up into the air there by Anderson, helped away, but only as far as Dooley, works it back out wide right now. Sims crosses, another header into the sky, to the edge of the area, towards Ellis Taylor, who brings it down, but it's cleared away by Close. And it'll be another throw-in for Harrogate on that near side. Another chance to launch it into the box if they want, or they could also go for a shorter option. Sims actually throws it backwards in the end to the halfway line here to O'Connor. Dinked ball down the right channel, headed away by Ben Close. All as far as Cornelius, who can only flick it to a Doncaster man who plays it into the sky, looking for Ironside, controlled well. And then Bailey tackled, and it's kicked forward and through to the goalkeeper of Sharman Lowe. That's now out to the right centre half for Anderson, still with Doncaster. Long ball forward into the Harrogate half, header won by the left back Gibson towards Cornelius, who heads it on himself. Another header won by Harrogate, played into the sky by Ben Close, nodded down by Bailey. Finds his right back is Sterry, brings it into the Harrogate half, bringing it forward with intent. Sterry, ball into the edge of the box there, bullied off it though there too easily. Ironside, Harrogate can counter again like they did for their 2 goals they've scored already. But Muldoon just slows it down. And then it's pickpocketed by Molyneux, but the loose ball drops to Sims, who goes back through to Muldoon, who tries to slip it in behind for the run there of Josh March, but it's overhit and into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Doncaster again wanting to get the ball forward as quickly as possible. Fleming Playing it to McGrath. High ball towards the edge of the area. Header won there by O'Connor for Harrogate. Cleared by the right back Sims. Not very convincing, but helped on by Muldoon. Towards Ellis Taylor, who can't keep it in. Throw in for Doncaster. Taken quickly by McGrath to the goalkeeper of Teddy Sharman Lowe. As it does look like Doncaster are going to make a second change shortly. Kyle Hurst, the left winger, will come on now, in fact. And he'll replace Ben Close, who missed the first 4 games of the season. Came on as a late sub in the last game against Gillingham, so first start for him in the league. And he's played 62 minutes before being replaced there by a left winger, Kyle Hurst, making his 70th appearance in this division. 22 years of age. He's got 9 goals in League 2. 2 of them last season. His last in the start of March against Walsall. Back underway. Right back with Sterry for Doncaster. To the goalkeeper on the edge of the area of Sharman Lowe. Quickly moving it to McGrath at left centre-back. He's going to go for a diagonal switch. It's a high ball. Out to the right side. It's flipped on by Ironside and it's brilliant. It's now Clifton. 1-on-1 with Gibson. Gets the overlap of Sterry, who crosses. It's a very high ball. Has it swung out of play? Yes, it did. That is really, really poor by Jamie Sterry. And that will be a goal kick for Harrogate. They need to have better crossing than that if Doncaster want anything from this game, which is looking unlikely the further the game goes on. They play out Sims at right back, heavy touch, and it's now Kyle Hurst straight off the bench. Plays it to Bailey to his left. He's got the overlap now of Fleming, but Bailey gets onto his right foot, giving time to cross the ball into the box. The header from Clifton, and it's saved by Belshaw. Made sure he's got his body behind that. The 33-year-old goalkeeper. Not the worst of attempts there by Harry Clifton, trying the flick on head of the former Welsh under-21 international, making a late run towards the penalty spot. Beat Moon to the header, but comfortable save in the end for Belshaw, who kicks it out of his hands. It's a long ball forward to the edge of the Doncaster box, where it's headed as far as Ellis Taylor there by McGrath, and Ellis Taylor takes on Fleming to the byline. He crosses right-footed. It's not a great ball, but the clearance from McGrath can only go as far as a corner kick. And I'm sure this performance is really doing Grant McCann's head in. The Doncaster manager, just nothing quite going their way at the moment. Just over 25 left to play in this second half. Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0 at the Exercise Stadium. An in-swinging corner to the near post. Header away and then a volley away for Doncaster up into the sky. Played back forward by Cornelius. Controlled and played out to the right by Gibson. But he was coming back from an offside position. And that'll be a free kick for Doncaster just on the edge of their 18-yard box. They play out from the back once again here with McGrath on the halfway line. Forward. Molyneux fouled. Straight back to his feet, just caught late there by Dooley. But Doncaster have got the ball moving again on that far side of Sterry, midway side of the Harrogate half. Driving inside, playing a ball into the box to Sharp. Back out wide here to Clifton. Running at Gibson, still with the number 15 for Doncaster. Gibson wanting a foot in and getting a foot in and kicking it off Clifton. And winning the throw for his side. That's brilliant defending from Liam Gibson. Usually a midfielder. But last season he was used at left back, like tonight, centre back and holding midfield as well. Very versatile player, the 27-year-old, and he's won a really vital throw in there. I think the best thing that Harrogate have done tonight have just kept Billy Sharp as quiet as possible. He's barely been involved in the game, the 38-year-old, absolute, seasoned veteran in the Championship, usually Billy Sharp. 410 appearances in the Championship, scoring 130 goals. He's got 5 promotions in the EFL, 3 from the Championship and 2 from League One. If he scores tonight, it'll be his 50th Doncaster goal. As they attack down the left-hand side. Hurst being forced away from goal by Cornelius. Goes down the line though here for Fleming. Sliding challenge from Taylor. It's a throw in the final third for Doncaster. Well timed there by Taylor. Molyneux on that left wing in the final third. Trying to get around Cornelius, but it's proving to be difficult. Playing the ball back to Fleming. Just outside the box on the left-hand side. Back out wide to Molyneux. He's going to try running at Cornelius again. Runs at him, kicks it off him and wins himself a corner. Quarter of the game to go. Still Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. How many corners? Hold on, I'll check 1 minute. How many do you need, corners? I'm assuming it's a bet. We've just got another one, so it's 8 now, 4 each. Taken short by Hurst. And he eventually crosses it in, all the way through to the edge of the area where Clifton has to go out to the right side to get it. He wants to cross it himself here. Clifton will try to, but it comes off Josh March, and it'll be a throw in for Doncaster. Thrown back by Clifton to Sterry, who will just float it into the edge of the area, headed on by McGrath. Headed by Harrogate, headed by Doncaster, drops the Ironside, back to goal. Tries to lay it off here for Bailey. Takes it away from McGrath. Poked out to the left into Fleming, who will slice a shot into the stands. And that'll be a goal kick for Harrogate. Waste for Brandon Fleming, who has never scored in professional football. Now at the age of 24, of course, not known for his goal scoring at full-back, doesn't need to. Spent a bit of last season on loan in League One with Shrewsbury, but had to be recalled as he got injured in the October. As Harrogate go long and the ball's worked out to the right towards March. Brilliant defending from the left back Fleming, who goes forward with it. He's got support of Hurst. Finds the substitute winger. Gets away from Cornelius. Cornelius makes up ground rather quickly and he forces Hurst to go inside. Into Anderson, the centre-back. Forward. And then round the corner by Clifton. Out wide to Sterry. In the box. Plenty of white shirts. In there as he crosses. It's a good header away. Avoids Ironside. Now Muldoon lifting it forward here. Dooley on the break. On the halfway line. Shoved to the ground by Molyneux. Not seen as enough of a push for a foul. Referee gives a throw-in. I think he was looking for that there. Stephen Dooley, the 32-year-old, who was out for 12 months from October 2022 to the October of 2023. He had a hernia issue and then a pelvic injury. But he started to come back now within the last season. And he's got more minutes under his belt, Stephen Dooley. His first start of the season was the last game against Cheltenham when they lost in the 92nd minute as Doncaster go long to the edge of the area again. Sharp can't get the touch right. Cleared away from him by Moon. And that will be a throw-in for Doncaster towards the final third on that far side with 20 to play. Thrown in towards Sharp. Works it back to the original throw taker of Sterry. Down the line now for Molyneux. Back to Sterry. It's now on the halfway line with McGrath as Doncaster just trying to keep the ball as best they can. Still need 2 goals. 1 isn't enough because it is looking less likely they're going to score now. Harrogate just defending so well. Sterry's ball deflects off Gibson to March, who's shielding it away from Anderson. March still has it, plays it to Dooley, then back to Gibson at left back. And Harrogate are showing exactly why they have stayed in this division. They can find performances. You know, they finished 13th last season, 19th the season before that, 19th again, 17th. So it definitely seems like they are improving. And I think this season, they just need a bit more time to get going. A couple of new signings being bedded in. But this would be a real statement victory by Simon Weaver. Once again beating their Yorkshire rivals, Doncaster Rovers, for a 4th time this would be. McGrath. Long ball from the back for Doncaster up to the edge of the area towards Ironside. Heads it on. Can't quite find Sharp. And it'll be dealt with there by Sims at right back for Harrogate. Long ball himself. A header won by McGrath. Out to the Doncaster right, where it'll be collected here by Clifton. Forced to go back, though. Into his own half here to Anderson. Plays it low, forward here to Molyneux. Not quite been involved as much as he would have liked to have been in the second half, but it's a great switch out to the left there to Hurst. Driving inside onto his right foot. He's got Fleming at left back in support. Finds him in the final third. Back into Hurst. Ellis not getting too tight to his man here for Harrogate. Hurst doesn't quite know where to go here. Goes across to the right to Anderson. Keeps it away from Muldoon. Sterry, the ball needs to be right. Cross goes in, it's a better one. It's a header. One for Harrogate again and cleared forward. Up towards March, who's all on his own up there for Harrogate on the left-hand side. Needs to hold it up. He's got McGrath in front of him. March can't quite keep it in. Pressure there from Sterry too much. Runs it out of play. And it's a change that needs to be made. Substitute for Harrogate. Bit of a surprise dropping as the goal scorer of the second, Josh March, who made his first start tonight, will be replaced by the left winger of Sam Follerin, who scored twice this season already, away against Accrington, and their only goal away against Colchester in that 1-0 win in Game 3. Bit of a shock dropping, really, from the manager, Simon Weaver, but he comes off the bench tonight here. Sam Follerin, the 23-year-old who scored 3 goals last season, all in victories in League 2. He's got 9 in all competitions. He scored in all 4 competitions last season, FA Cup, League Cup, EFL Trophy and the League. As it's Harrogate who have it, with a clearance up into the sky by Moon. Up towards Follerin, can't quite win the header there on Anderson, but his header goes out of play. And it's a Harrogate throw-in just inside the Doncaster half on that far side. They're doing everything right at the moment to see themselves through for a victory here. Despite not doing a lot going forward, Harrogate, this half, they've not needed to, because they've defended so solidly that they've limited Doncaster to shots from afar. Following the substitute, has it in the centre circle, going back to O'Connor. Then a ball out to the left. It's a lifted one, header won by Sterry. It's now Clifton into the centre of the midfield to Bailey. Forward now for Doncaster as they feed it out to the left to Hurst. He's got the overlap of Fleming. He's in the box. Hurst plays it to Fleming. Ball goes to the near post, and it's had to be parried behind for a corner there by Belshaw. Almost caught out there by Fleming, who's trying to get that first professional goal of his career. Looks like the left back will take an out-swinging corner here, or he might go short to Hurst. In it goes, direct. It's a header away there for Harrogate. Clifton will chase it, but he can't quite beat Daly to it. And Daly is on his bike here for Harrogate. Daly pulled to the ground by Clifton. That'll be a yellow card for the Welshman. Rightly given booking. He just didn't quite have the pace to keep up with James Daly, the former Crystal Palace man. And he's had to pull him down, and that'll be a yellow card. Really good running there by James Daly, who's put a shift in. Got the assist for the first goal with a well-weighted cross to find Ellis Taylor. So looks like Harrogate is going to launch this one into the box from the left-hand side. In it goes. It's a deep one. Headed away by Fleming. As far as Dooley lifts it out to the right-hand side here. Controlled for Harrogate by Sims. And he goes back to Cornelius on halfway. Then to his left now to Gibson. Turning away from Ironside. Dooley works out to the right to Sims. And then spacing behind it for Ellis Taylor. Onto his left foot. Shooting. And it's come off the head of, I think that was Anderson. And that could have been a second there for Ellis Taylor. Again, he's been an absolute nightmare for Doncaster's defence tonight from that right wing, cutting onto his left foot. And his shot to the far post actually came off the head of Bailey, the captain. Almost a goal, almost a third for Harrogate to completely kill the game. 2.5 goals, I'm not sure. I don't know if we'll get another goal. Not too sure at the moment if we will get another. It's going to be an outswinger for Harrogate. Into the box it goes. It's a header away to the edge of the area. To Dooley, who shoots. Doesn't quite catch it. Slices it right towards those away supporters in the corner of the ground. It's a Doncaster throw-in with 13 to play. We're going to get 2 more Doncaster changes here. So the first change, we'll see Harry Clifton to come off here for Ephraim Yeboah. So an attacking midfielder off for another striker. No starts yet for Yeboah. All of his appearances have been off the bench in the league. He has got 1 goal, though, and that came in the EFL Trophy against Huddersfield. And we're not going to get the second Doncaster change yet. That'll come afterwards as Doncaster go long. Headed on by Sharp towards Yeboah. Cleared away from him by Dooley. As far as the halfway line, where it's now with Sterry for Doncaster. Down the line. Finds Yeboah. Can keep the ball away from Daly and tries to run around the outside of Gibson. He does just that. It's a fantastic introduction from Yeboah. Down that right wing. Tackled and fouled there. In the end by James Daly. And that'll be a free kick in the final third on the right wing for Doncaster. Really well won that by Ephraim Yeboah. Italian. Born in northern Italy. Moved to Bristol at the age of 8. And the second change will now be introduced as it's right back for right back. Jamie Sterry will come off for their new signing. It's a debut for Josh Emmanuel, who is brought in on a 6-month deal from Carlisle. He's 27 years of age, came through at West Ham, spent 8 years after that at Ipswich, and he's making his 20th League Two appearance. So a little bit of experience at this level for Josh Emmanuel, as he's going to get himself on the edge of the box here, I believe. As this is a tasty little opportunity for Doncaster to get a nice ball into the box here from the left boot of Luke Molyneux. And in it goes to the centre of the box, where it's almost dropped there by Belshaw, but he is able to keep it in his grasp. And again, a wasted opportunity there for Doncaster and Luke Molyneux. So still 2-0, 11 minutes of the 90 to play. Simon Weaver applauding his team on. He's took charge of 782 games now at Harrogate since May 2009. Winning 302, 38% win rate, which after 700 games isn't too bad. 300 wins altogether, just over 300 wins. As Doncaster have it back, halfway line, thrown back by Fleming here to McGrath. This is Doncaster's 3rd season in League Two, successively relegated in the 21-22 season, finishing 22nd in League One. They'll want to get back to the 3rd tier as quickly as possible. They were in the Championship 11 seasons ago. Finished 22nd in that season when they went down to League One. McGrath on halfway on the near side, going for a switch out to the far side, look for Emmanuel, who controls it with his chest. That's a brilliant touch. Keeps it away from Gibson. Emmanuel crosses as well to the near post, headed up into the sky by Harrogate, controlled by Molyneux. It's a little bit loose, but it will drop here for Bailey, and Doncaster have it on the left-hand side here with Fleming, edge of the area. He now enters the box, tries the first cross, and it comes off Sims, and it will be kept in by Fleming on this near side. Goes back into Bailey, across to the right here to Anderson. It's now Emmanuel, the new right back, running at Gibson. Tries to slip a ball through to Yeboah. Comes off James Daly, throwing in the final third for Doncaster. Less than 10 to play here. Remember, if Doncaster get one, the game's well and truly back on. Throwing taken. It's now Molyneux on that right wing, being forced away from goal, but he can get a cross into the box, and it's over the head of everyone. And that's a goal kick for Harrogate. Like I say, the home team have done barely anything going forward in this second half, but they've not had to. They've just been very happy to defend because they've limited Doncaster to very few big chances, really, in this second 45 minutes. Belshaw, the goalkeeper. Long it goes. Headed forward though for Doncaster by Bailey. And it drops to Ironside. Lifts it down the right wing here for Yeboah, who will beat Gibson to it towards the corner flag. Yeboah off the bench. Can he make a difference? Running into the box on his left foot. Going for the shot, which deflects. And it's a diving header away there by O'Connor. Headed back out wide left for Doncaster by Anderson. Fleming now to Hurst. One-on-one with Ellis Taylor. Gets onto his left foot and tries for the cross. And it comes off Sims, who I think struggling a little bit with a bit of cramp. And there'll be another corner for Doncaster with 8 to play. He's been brilliant tonight, Toby Sims at right back for Harrogate. He's played a lot of football at the start of the season, Sims, but he's still putting in really strong performances. Can Doncaster get one back in this Yorkshire derby? Referee just wants a word with everyone in the box. Bit too much going on for his liking. In it goes. Header up in the air again. O'Connor this time winning it for Harrogate. Back in the box by Fleming. That's now with McGrath trying to make something happen in the box, but can't work himself away from the Harrogate defence. Cleared away. Thrown for Doncaster on this near side. Still in the Harrogate half as they try and find a breakthrough. Another change here for Harrogate. And he has played a lot of football and he's struggling. Just mentioned it and he will be brought off here. Toby Sims will be replaced by Zico Asari, who they brought in this summer from Maidenhead in the National League. Come off the bench now in the last 2 games. Zico Asari. So, we're back underway. Doncaster need a goal. They have scored in 7 of their opening 8 games this season in all competitions. The only game they haven't scored in was when they were beaten 3-0 away against Everton in the League Cup. Harrogate had failed to score in their last 3 games in all competitions. They hadn't scored in any of their opening 3 home games this season as well. Just a funny old game is football. So, 5.5 to play. Josh Emmanuel wanting to take this throw-in, but the referee just delaying the restart for a moment. Throws it to Molyneux, shielding it away from Cornelius. Emmanuel, back it goes, and now it's on the halfway line with McGrath. Works it to the left to Hurst. Drives inside into a central area. Bundled to the ground by Muldoon, and that is a foul. Was never going for the ball there. He's actually caught him in the face, I think, there. Kyle Hurst up to his feet quickly because he knows they need to get on with this. And the very experienced 35-year-old Jack Muldoon will go into the book there. Very cynical shove to bring Kyle Hurst to the ground. Scored the only goal against Doncaster last season when they won away from home. Harrogate. It was from the penalty spot with a quarter of the game to go. So another free kick about 30 yards out again. Very similar to a free kick we had at the start of this half when Molyneux tried to bend it into the top left corner but overhit it and got it all wrong. See what he'll do this time. He crosses this time to the far post. Not kept in by Owen Bailey. And it goes for a goal kick. Harrogate is a lovely place. Never went, actually, myself, when we were in the same division. Stockport County in Harrogate. Probably the prettiest place in Yorkshire. Lovely market town. Pretty posh. Right. I'm sure I'll fit in fine if it's nice and posh. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I've never been. Because that's the thing with when you go to away ground. I've never been to Harrogate for football, but when you go to football grounds, you very rarely actually see the place. I've found when you go a lot of the time, because the place that I would love to go back to because the place going into it was brilliant. 2 seasons ago, I went to Carlisle away, and I say this to all my mates. Carlisle has been my favourite away day to go to. We went. It was end of April, where it was just, summer was starting. It was gorgeous, like the drive, the coach drive through, like the hills and everything. It was absolutely brilliant. But you're there for like a couple of hours to watch football, then you go. I was on the coach provided by the club, so obviously there's no time for touring around. So I would love to go back to Carlisle at some point, not for football, just to go and see the place, because it did look beautiful. But it's like Barrow. Not like I wanted to check Barrow out. I kind of got what I was looking for when I was there for an hour or so. But you just don't barely stay the places you go for football. You're literally there for a couple of hours, watch 22 men kick a ball around, and then you go home. You barely see where you go. Doncaster win another free kick. Owen Bailey this time caught. I think another card's out. Yep, Ellis Taylor, who scored the first goal of this game. He's absolutely... I don't even know what the word is. He's confused, and he cannot believe. He's stunned. That's the word. He's stunned that he's been butt there. I think he did just catch Owen Bailey there, the Doncaster Rovers captain. So free kick on the left hand side, about 25 yards out. Hurst is over it with the right foot, but it'll be Molyneux with his left. In it goes. Another header won by a Harrogate defender, and that's O'Connor again, I think. Well, as far as Emmanuel for Doncaster, so they can try and get it back forward if they can. Here's Molyneux. Out to the left flank here to Hurst. On his right foot. Just goes back to the halfway line to Molyneux, who will put it into the box here. Another header won, but it goes backwards by Gibson, and it's going to be picked up here by Yeboah, who puts the cross into the near post. Header won by Daly. Well, as far as Emmanuel for Doncaster. Works it out to the right here to Yeboah, who just about keeps it in. The pass was slightly behind him, but he keeps it in. Goes into the centre circle to Molyneux, who's the deepest back for Doncaster here. Finds Hurst on the left wing, on that right foot. Chops onto his left again and crosses. It's a brilliant ball in, and another header won, this time by Moon. Harrogate aerially, defensively tonight has been unbelievable. Emmanuel, corner of the box on the right hand side, lays it off here. And the cross will go in. It's a floater. Keeper comes for it, gets a touch. Drops to the edge of the area to Hurst. Hurries a shot. Drops to Anderson, whose shot's blocked superbly. Cleared for Harrogate. Follerin will chase it. Dealt with, though, here by Molyneux, who keeps himself in front of Follerin, but then overruns it, and the ball's cleared away. It's a throw-in for Doncaster. Just looks like it's not going to happen for the Rovers tonight in this Yorkshire derby. It's funny how all the big clubs play in places that are actually you don't really visit if you're not into football. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So can Spurs beat Arsenal with Arsenal's midfield? That's the big question. Commentary of that game on Sunday. 2 o'clock kickoff. North London derby, Spurs, Arsenal. Well, obviously Spurs are missing their entire midfield, pretty much. Looks like there's going to be no Ødegaard. He's injured. Got injured on international duty. Rice is suspended. Marino, their new midfielder from Sociedad, is also injured. Shoulder injury picked up. So it'll be an interesting watch as Bailey's caught again by Follerin this time. And just in front of the halfway line, it'll be a free kick for Doncaster. Not happy with that challenge there, Owen Bailey. Giving Sam Follerin a piece of his mind. As they take it quickly here, Doncaster firing it out to the left here to Fleming. Onto his right foot. In the box, he's tripped. No, referee says no. Must be a dive, but he's not going to pull him up on it because Harrogate want to break. Ellis Taylor lifting it out to the left here to Follerin. 4 minutes added on as we've hit the 90th minute. Follerin holds it up. Plays it to his left here to James Daly, who's going to take it to the corner. Shield it away from Emmanuel, who can get around him and kick it through his legs and find Yeboah, who in the right back position himself has been pulled back. And that'll be a free kick for Doncaster. There's 4 minutes added on. Let's have a look. Fleming driving in, cutting into his right foot there. Yeah, I think he was looking for it for sure. Not enough in it there, as it looks like it's going to be another Doncaster free kick here. Just inside the Harrogate half. Not quite sure what it was given for. They were showing a replay of that possible penalty shout. So just less than 3 to play. Looks like Doncaster are going to lose another game this season in the league. It's going to be away from home again. The first one fell to Newport and now to their Yorkshire rivals of Harrogate. But from the free kick, they're going to launch this in the box through Molineux. In it goes, he's overhit it towards absolutely nobody. And that sums up Doncaster's performance. For all the possession they've had, it's so poor how little they've done. In the game in general, they weren't doing much in the first half, in fairness. They forced 2 good saves out of Belshaw from Gibson and Molineux. But this second half, they've barely done anything noteworthy. And Harrogate have just defended really well. And they're going to get their rewards for it, of all 3 points. So Belshaw with this goal kick to take. Less than 2 minutes to play. Down Harrogate right it goes. Free header in the air there by McGrath onto the halfway line. Header forward for Harrogate by Daly. All as far as Bailey, who volleys it forward towards Ironside. Header forward by O'Connor. All as far as Molineux, who overruns it. And O'Connor can clear again once more. Right back to the Doncaster goalkeeper of Sharman Lowe. And I think Harrogate would love a clean sheet here. Be their second of the season. First at home. Long ball forward for Doncaster in the box. Yeboah tries to get away in the box free, but he can't get away from Daly, who shields it and plays through Emmanuel. Kicks it forward as far as the Doncaster man. But it looks like Doncaster probably run out of time here. They put a cross in the box though. Header won there by Asari. Always far as Hurst for Doncaster. Anderson goes back here to Owen Bailey. Diagonal switch into the box. Flicked on towards absolutely nobody in a Doncaster shirt. And Belshaw will collect. And it looks like once again it's going to be that Derby Day delight for Harrogate. It's the 5th time they're facing each other. It's going to be 4 Harrogate wins and a draw. This is Doncaster's new bogey team. And what a result this will be for Harrogate with 20 seconds left to play. Their goalkeeper launches it forward down their right channel once again. Following can't quite flick on. Header forward though by Dooley. Finds Following. Can't quite return it to Dooley, but Following still has it. Surrounded by 3 white shirts. Tackled. Loose ball drops to Dooley, who goes out to the left here. To Gibson. We've played the 4 added on. And the referee will blow his whistle for full time. And once again, Harrogate beat Doncaster. It's now 3 wins in a row against their Yorkshire rivals. And Doncaster's early, bright start to the season has been stopped in its tracks from Harrogate, who had started poorly themselves, struggling to score. But tonight, going forward, they looked a lot better. Every time they went forward, they looked like a real threat. And Doncaster just couldn't deal with their counter-attacking moves. First goal scored from Ellis Taylor, who they brought in from Sunderland on a free. His first goal for them came away from home. This is his first at home here at the Exercise Stadium. It was scored in the 27th minute, a diving header, glancing a ball to the far corner. And he also scored as well a minute into the added on time. This time it was Josh March with the goal. Over the top, the ball went for him. He took a touch into his path and bundled it into the back of the net, despite being sandwiched in between the 2 Doncaster centre-backs. And they weren't much to shout about in the second half for Harrogate, just a lot of defending, and they were happy to do it. They limited Doncaster to half chances, long-range shots. It's a brilliant performance. It's what Harrogate will build their season off now. They know they can do it. They know they can do it against one of the best teams in the division. But now they've just got to try and build a little bit of consistency. But under Simon Weaver, who's been here now for 15 years, he'll know that he can get his team back on track and back on winning ways. And hopefully for Harrogate, this might be the start of a run of victories. They'll hope so anyway. They have got a challenging next 4 games in the league. Crewe away, Bradford at home, MK Dons at home and Swindon away. But when they can beat Doncaster, one of the favourites to go up, they can believe they can take anybody on. But here, after full time at the Exercise Stadium, it does finish Harrogate 2, Doncaster 0. And those Harrogate home supporters are absolutely delighted. Still unbeaten against their Yorkshire rivals. 5 meetings, 4 wins, and just the 1 draw. What a result. What a performance. And Harrogate pushed themselves up towards the top half of the table. Doncaster will remain top for now, but If Notts County win, or if Barrow win, or if Gillingham win, or if Bradford win, or if Walsall win, or if Wimbledon win, or Newport, they will go top. So it just shows how close it is in the early exchange of the league. You know, that's what 7 teams could go above Doncaster if they win their game. Of course, not all of them will. You know, Doncaster will probably drop to as low as maybe 3rd or 4th if a couple of results don't go their way. But this will just be a game they'll have to forget. But they do need to start improving their away form. Doncaster, it's becoming a little bit worrying. They've played 3 away games so far in the league this season, winning 1 against Port Vale, but they've lost 2 already against Newport and now against Harrogate. Definitely some thinking needed for Grant McCann, who seems to have his team winning at home, but away from home they're struggling, and that needs to change if you want to try and challenge for this league title. But I hope you did enjoy it. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. I thoroughly enjoyed that League 2 Thursday night action once again. A bit of a surprise sprung upon us here with Harrogate winning the Yorkshire Derby by 2-0. Next 2 commentaries guaranteed on the channel. This weekend it is Arsenal travelling to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on Tottenham on Sunday. That's a 2 o'clock kick-off. We're also covering League 1 action as well on Monday night, 8 o'clock, as Birmingham welcome Wrexham. We've also got games coming up next weekend as well. Just to give you some idea of what games are coming up next week, we've got the Arsenal-Man City double-header. We're going to be commentating on the Arsenal women taking on Manchester City women in the 12:30 kick-off, and then in the afternoon kick-off, the men take on each other. That's on next Sunday, so that'll be a bit of fun as well. So plenty of commentaries coming up on the channel. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on so you know exactly when I go live and what games I'm covering. But here in Harrogate, once again, under Simon Weaver, they are winning against their rivals. Doncaster remain top for now, but they struggle tonight. It will be a hard season for them if they want to go up. But for now, Harrogate still have the bragging rights in Yorkshire. It finishes Harrogate Town 2, Doncaster Rovers 0.